What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have an update video on all the sports betting sector. I originally planned to make a video to remind us why we invest in these stocks, because during red days it is easy to forget the potential in our positions. Fortunately, we had some great news today, so I will save that pep talk for a rainy day. Today I want to cover that news, and if I have time, possibly look at the charts. I also think this can give us momentum into the weekend and possibly Monday. So if you are investing in sports betting, definitely watch to the end. You might pick up something new. Let me know in the comments if you agree 2022 will be a great year for the sports betting stocks. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It takes me a few hours to make these videos, so I really appreciate all the support. But with all that said, let's get started. So let's get right into it. New York gambling regulators approved 4 different companies to start their online sports betting market. The 4 sportsbooks that are approved is Caesar Sportsbook, Draftkings, Fanduel, and Rush Street Interactive. They'll be able to start accepting mobile bets this Saturday, January 8th, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. So that is some great news for those 4 sportsbooks, but some even better news was what DraftKings announced today. They actually will launch their mobile sportsbook this Saturday. The news that I showed you previously was just the approval. The New York market is allowing them to start accepting bets, but none of those other than DraftKings actually released a press release saying that they will launch their mobile app on Saturday. So far it looks like DraftKings will become the first operator to launch in the Empire State, so definitely getting ahead of the game. Obviously, DraftKings doesn't need any introduction. They've spent tons of money on marketing, whether it's through commercials or NFL programs. They've been marketing a lot, and that's one of the reasons a lot of the investors are upset. They have been burning tons of cash, but if you are a newer investor, you actually don't really feel that pain because the stock price is already down so much. So definitely a good area to start considering a position. For those that are at higher price averages, we all believe that this stock is worth much more, so just hang in there tight. And if you can, possibly average down. But I'm not a financial advisor, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. So let's go through some of the stuff that I highlighted. DraftKings sets to launch its mobile sports betting in New York on Saturday. New York now becomes the largest state with DraftKings mobile sportsbook, but this news comes ahead of the NFL playoffs, one of the busiest periods for betting activity in the year. And I must say, I'm actually very happy they were able to get this launched before the playoffs. Playoffs is one of the busiest periods. That's because it's the best of the best going head to head. The NFL is on its last week of the season, so after that it's going to be the top 14 teams going head to head, and eventually leading to the AFC and the NFC championships, and the winners of that will go on to play at the Super Bowl. So all the weaker, non-popular teams are not going to be playing, and in my opinion now there's going to be a lot more betting volume as people bet for their favorite team. So you'll have like the Green Bay Packers, Patriots, Cardinals, Tampa Bay, the LA Rams, and the Chiefs all playing head to head. So a lot of good games are ahead, and that's going to cause a lot of betting activity. I myself am a big football fan, so I will definitely be watching all these games, and I must say these are probably the best games of the season. Moving down just a bit, I want to quote Jason Robbins, our CEO. "We are excited to finally be able to offer millions of passionate New York sports fans the top-rated DraftKings mobile and online sportsbook. We want to extend a special thanks to all these guys here, the New York Gaming Commission, along with the tireless efforts of our dedicated DraftKings team for making this a reality." So obviously there has been a lot of effort put into being able to get started in New York. I believe New York approved gambling back in April, so it's taken them about 9 months to be able to finally get this going. So obviously a big accomplishment, because New York is definitely one of the most populated and biggest markets for sports betting. It is home to 10 professional sports teams spanning 6 major leagues, with an additional 3 teams that are located 15 miles from the New York City. So just kind of backing up to what I'm saying, it's one of the strongest sport cultures in the world with millions of passionate sports fans. And one team that comes to mind, they have been doing very well this season, is the Buffalo Bills. That's technically in New York. So obviously when they want to start betting on their team, the first platform that's going to come to mind is going to be DraftKings, because DraftKings has been marketing like crazy. Every time I watch a football game, I hear about DraftKings in every other commercial, or anytime one of the sports analysts mentions something, they say it's brought to you by DraftKings. So it's just going to be second nature for people to jump on board to either DraftKings or FanDuel. So if you live in New York and you're over the age of 21, you'll have the ability to place bets pre-match and then also during the game. I'll read one last quote. "Millions of New Yorkers will soon discover what we believe makes our DraftKings sportsbook the very best in customer service and real money gaming and entertainment." So I just want to add to that there's a lot of hype for the NFL. But that is just one of the many sports that DraftKings does support. You have the NBA, college football, baseball, and so many others. But at some point, I also believe that this is going to span bigger than sports. You'll be able to place bets on fighting and e-gaming as well. I know those categories aren't as popular yet, but give it some time and that will definitely change in my opinion. So guys, I want to move over to a chart showing you guys what current states are legal, which ones are still in the process of getting fully legalized, just to give you guys a better idea of the opportunity that is here. Obviously, we only have 30 states that are currently legal. All the other states are either fighting for legalization or still don't have anything planned for 2022. In my opinion, the three biggest markets are New York, California, and Texas, possibly even Florida. Those are probably the most populated states. As you can see, New York is the first big state legalized out of all four. Even though the entire market was kind of in a mixed bag, the stock went crazy today. It did pretty well. So just imagine once we get Texas on board, California is going to go crazy. And also Florida. So definitely some big catalysts. We are only halfway there. We got 52 states to fully get legalized and fully be able to tap that market opportunity. So in my opinion, tons of opportunity in the next 2 to 3 years. As of right now, the next states that are going to become operational are going to be Nebraska, Ohio, and Florida. That's going to create a lot of buzz for all the sportsbook stocks. So I'm very looking forward to that. That wasn't the only big news that came out today, guys. The other second big news is that Buffalo Bills actually became the official sports betting partner for FanDuel. FanDuel, I believe, is traded under Flutter Entertainment. They are neck to neck with DraftKings. They're the number 1, number 2 sports books in the US. But this is massive in my opinion because not many sports teams are actually partnered up with one of the sportsbook apps. The second is the Bills are actually a very good team. So that's going to bring a lot of betting activity this season and probably even into next season. That is great for Flutter Entertainment, and it's also great for DraftKings because I don't think FanDuel has officially launched their sportsbook app in New York. Since the Bills are in New York, DraftKings is the only one that's currently operating Saturday, so that's really good for DraftKings. But in the long term, this is going to be really good for FanDuel because obviously they're going to get their sportsbook up and running, and having the Bills as a team is a huge win. So just a few highlights from the press release. Buffalo Bills and FanDuel announcing multi-year partnerships. Like I said, FanDuel will become the official mobile sportsbook partner of the Buffalo Bills. They're going to have rights to the Bills marks and logos. So I guess some licensing rights there. They'll be able to use them as marketing or something like that. So just a quote from the FanDuel group, Bills take pride in being a culture that is built on genuine connection with their fans, and we are absurdly fan-focused at FanDuel, making this a natural collaboration. As we prepare to bring America's #1 sportsbook to New York State, we will collaborate with the Bills to bring unique content and experiences to one of the most loyal fan bases in sports. So that right there obviously tells you that FanDuel is still preparing to bring the sportsbook to New York. So that does give DraftKings a head start as far as acquiring bets and people to sign up to their platform. But I think the bigger picture of this PR is actually telling us that some of the sportsbook are starting to partner up with some of the better teams. Just partnering up with some of the better teams is going to obviously do better for you. You don't want to partner up with an 0-12 team or something like that. Yes, it's going to take more money because this is a better team, so the licensing and the partnership will probably be more expensive, but in the long time it could pay off as well, because if your team bets well, you'll probably continue to bet as they will actually play more games and it'll probably have a bigger fan base. I do want to share with you that there are a few other sportsbooks that have created partnerships with some of the teams. BetMGM has relationships with the Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the New York Jets. In my opinion, the only good team is the Ravens. All the other teams are okay. I do like the Raiders. They're kind of eh. And then they did agree on a deal with the Arizona Cardinals, which have been doing very well. Their last few games have been iffy. They are still in a good record, but they plan to build a sportsbook in their State Farm Stadium, so that will definitely be good marketing for BetMGM. And then some of the other teams that are partnered up with some sports books is WinBet is partnered up with Detroit Lions. They are a pretty bad team. Pittsburgh Steelers also has a partnership with Unibet. I haven't heard of these guys. And then the Houston Texas has a multi-year deal with the Caesar Sportsbook, also another bad team. So like I said, the Bills is a big win for FanDuel. But even though these teams aren't very good, it's still opening the door for a lot more sportsbooks to start becoming official sportsbooks for each of these teams. And I think by the end of the decade, each team will have its own sponsored sportsbook. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So I'm just going to wrap up the video with this last article. Sports betting action in Arizona sets a record. As you guys might know, Arizona recently legalized their sports betting. They actually generated 486.1 million in bets and 37.5 million in gross operator revenue in October. This shatters the record for their second month in the US market, which followed a strong debut month in September for the Arizona sports betting. After the second month, they were already up to 777 million. As you guys see, Draftkings and Fanduel are the first and second online sportsbooks, bringing in 249 million and 173 million respectively. The craziest thing about this is Arizona is only ranked 10th of the 23 states that are actually legalized right now. So that just tells you the opportunity and the growth potential for some of the bigger states. Now, some of these will have higher tax, like I think New York is 51. So that's going to bring a lot less revenue for them, but they probably will still have a lot more betting activity. So some of those can kind of fluctuate there. Just to quote here, Arizona's debut is unlike anything we have seen in the US. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Arizona will no doubt become one of the nation's top markets as it continues to mature. And I guess in conclusion, we'll go back up to this. The general vibe is that Arizona could be a big state for all operators. So guys, we'll wrap up the video by looking at one of the charts. I'm going to cover DraftKings since that is one of the more popular platforms, and it's actually the one that I'm invested in. Unfortunately, it did break this descending yellow support that I had here, but we are still in this descending triangle. The overall pattern is going to be bullish. It just really depends on when we can break out. We do have this nice support here around $22.50, and we have a nice resistance that we are trying to break through around $26.50. I think with the positive news that does help, but the main thing is getting above $26.50 and also this descending resistance here. And then after that, we will be on our way back up to $34, $35. But for now, the main three things to watch is the support down here, the resistance here, and our descending resistance here. That is what I see in the chart, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, we could still see more downside since we haven't fully consolidated. But like I said, the news is very helpful for today's price action. So guys, that is all I have for today's video. I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, make sure to smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want more videos like this. I think sports betting is going to be huge in the coming years. So if you're a long-term believer, everything will work out for itself. And if you believe in the company, it's okay to average down. Eventually, I think DraftKings will be trading higher, especially with the NFT exposure. But that is just my personal opinion. Definitely do your own research. I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to smash the like button. And until then, keep moving forward.